Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
Oh my God. Gotta be GT doing that, pushing buttons behind the scenes, not knowing how to work StreamYard. I don't know how to work this thing. I don't need other people who don't know how to work this thing not working this thing. Oh, I'm angry. Yes, I'm angry. Yes, good morning, folks. Well, it's good morning for you, maybe. Not so much for me. It's Thursday. It's crappy out. It's November. I'm in a bad mood. We got another train wreck of a show today. That's a good way to keep the audience. We got a train wreck of a show. Actually, we do. My first guest today will be a filmmaker who now, GT's popping in with windows all over the place, pushing buttons he shouldn't be pushing. Back to what we can expect today. My first guest will be a filmmaker I know precious little about. Done some digging, as I always do, trying to figure out what the hell is the backstory with my guest. I know he's a filmmaker. I know he's an actor and a writer and a producer. I know he's got a new film out. But you dig deep, and that's all you get. My second guest is a comedian who I know almost as little about, and a late addition. Her manager, her booking agent, whatever he is, James DeBenedetto, contacted me and said she's got some shows on. This was just yesterday or the day before. Actually, it was yesterday. So she's a late addition to the program. So I know very little about her as well. On top of that, we got GD in the back just pushing buttons, having things come up on the screen. Again, I am as confused as we need to be. We don't need to add more confusion on top of me. When we talk about incompetent, when we talk about somebody who really needs a producer working the things for him, that's me. And then people come in and they throw a monkey wrench at you, and you're like, I don't know what to do with that. So we're already off to a bad start. The Republican Party, as I predicted yesterday, is already doubling down on what got them a shellacking 2 days ago. And it's not just stupid. It's crazy, and it's contagious crazy. Yesterday, Trump had a rally, and Roseanne gave a little pre-Trump speech. And if you know anything about Roseanne, I don't have to tell you that it was full of batshit crazy. It was just, it was Roseanne's batshit crazy 2.0 or 3.0. She cranked it up a notch. Trump then went on to say that he wanted Tucker Carlson to be his running mate. Then they had the Republican Party, where half of them were doubling down on they're not extreme enough on abortion, even though it's very clear why they lost on Tuesday in significant races, and they lost Virginia's state house and all that kind of stuff, is because of that one issue that is really bringing Gen X, Gen Z, I'm sorry, Gen Z out to vote against them. They're just totally confused and totally stupid. You can't, again, learning from your mistakes is a sign of intelligence. Not learning and repeating the same mistakes over and over again, as I do every day here on this program. Come to think of it, maybe not that bright. I'm not that bright. Anyway, so this is where we're at today, and I'm a little bit. Well, this is our 498th morning program. We're coming into 500, like just barely getting there. The finish line, and it's not the finish line. It's just a significant mile marker, I guess. But it seems like we're going to be crawling across that mile marker and saying, "Oh, we made it," and then I'll lay down and die. On top of all that, my wife quit her job, which means she's going to be home every day. And we're going to drive each other crazy. So it won't be long before I am probably, I don't know, victim of a murder-suicide pact or something. Yes, I said it. I said it. You want to ban me from YouTube or Rumble or wherever? I'm not supposed to say that. Go ahead. Speaking of that, I woke up to an email from Facebook Business saying that MindDog TV has been a victim of, not a victim, has broken the rules of community standards by being racially abusive, intolerant, hate speech. None of that is true. And actually, the email is not true. It's a very real looking email from Meta Business Suite. But if you look really deep into the email address where it came from, it's Meta, no reply at Meta Financial Services, blah, 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 .outlook.com. Yeah, Facebook would use Outlook to send me a message that my page is being taken down because of all the rules I broke. And the worst rules. It wasn't just like Kelly, posting porn on my personal page or wherever and Kelly Conway's kids or whatever. Oh, am I a grumpy old man? So as I'm being a grumpy old man, I might as well bring in the men of the hour. And when I say men of the hour, I mean the guy who pushes buttons that get stuff on my screen. Oh, excuse me. Good morning, Will.
Hold on a second.
I'm holding on.
Did you say that there was porn on my fan page?
Well, it's my point. It's the coffee ads.
Oh, okay.
But Kelly is reposting it, and then one of my, I guess, a fan of the band or something said, "What are you trying to sell here?" And it's like, it's coffee. Just because there's a girl in her underwear on the table drinking coffee, doesn't mean it's not a coffee. Yeah, I mean, that's what you do, isn't it? When you get up in the morning, you get yourself a cup of coffee. Do you not get in your underwear, sit on the kitchen table, and I don't know, look seductive?
Yeah.
I thought so. Well, right. You know what GD does? First, he gets up, and wait, before you do that, he gets up, he looks at his hair, he says, "Man, my hair looks beautiful. I'm going to push some bad buttons. Let me see, just push some bad buttons here. Like, all right, how about this? StreamYard leaves comment. What the fuck is that?" And I don't know what's going on. And that's what he does. Good morning, GD. How are you?
Good morning. MindDog coffee. I don't always drink coffee, but when I do, I get the shits.
No.
MindDog coffee.
When you do, you get in your underwear and you sit on the kitchen table.
That's wine. I thought that was wine. That's not wine?
No.
I've been drinking the wrong stuff.
No, that's the
Oh, no, that's true. That's true. That's coffee.
So I got to clean up my act a little bit with the coffee ads. People are getting a little perturbed about me.
And I do apologize about the mix-up. My phone for some reason didn't want to hold on to the 4Gs.
There's no apologizing in live streaming or podcasting or radio. Or there's none of that. It's like no crying in baseball. We will have none of that. It's just
oh my god, dude, that's one of my favorite parts of that fucking movie, A League of Their Own. There's no crying in baseball. Oh my god. My sister and I don't know if I ever told you this. My sister and I, because remember I told you that I used movies to escape as a youth. We saw that movie 9 times in the theater. My sister and I went to A League of Their Own 9 times together in the movie theater. I think we might have snuck in one of those times.
Oh, you pay? I was going to say you pay because
we paid most of those times. Well, I think I paid.
Insane.
I don't know. She might have paid for it. So because I was making like paper out money and stuff like that. That's how I usually
paper out money, the big money.
But let me tell you what we did though. We were shit ass fucking kids because after you see a brand new movie for like the 4th time in a week, you start to know the lines pretty good.
Yeah.
Right. And
I know.
Can you imagine the furious anger felt by theater patrons on the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th time when my sister and I would sit in a movie that you fucking paid to see also and say the lines like a half second before the fucking actors on almost every like major kick line, like every line that gets like a response. We would say that shit just ahead of it. And people around us were losing their fucking minds.
I bet.
Like, how in the fuck are you doing? Like, what's going on? Like,
you'd be like in the movies watching Shark Island, and you would yell out, "The most dangerous sharks aren't on the island."
I've never seen Shark Island. This is a real.
He lives in a whole different cultural world.
Shark Island is a real movie. You haven't seen it yet?
No, I don't. For one, okay, I don't watch Shark Week. I don't watch Shark Week. I don't watch.
Not 2015. No, 2020. Oh my God!
Listen,
right. I've also never seen a Jaws movie on purpose.
You are lame.
So
you guys are so lame. First, you haven't seen Shark Island.
No, I've never even heard of it.
You're probably the only 2 people I've talked to.
Yeah, somebody said that to me about Sharknado once too, and I didn't care about that either. I was like,
I had the star of Sharknado on the program.
I'm willing to bet that Paul Collette has seen Shark Island. I'm willing to bet he's seen it. So at least I'll have somebody to talk to about it. I obviously can't hold an intelligent conversation with you 2 about it.
Oh wait, I did Sharknado. I wanted Shark Island. If this ends up being one of Paul's films, then I'm gonna really be embarrassed about this. But,
oh my God, wouldn't that be the worst? That'd be the worst.
Shark Island, no, it doesn't. Shark Island official. Shark Island is a hard rock band. No, Shark Island
is a hard rock band. Game. Yeah.
Shark Island music. There's no Shark Island film. Oh, here it is. Shark Island. Oh, is it one of Paul's films, you fucker?
That's so fucked. That's so fucked. Why would you do that? You're such a dick.
Well, it's a zombie shark. I don't see Paul's name on here anyway, though.
Oh, he played Zachary.
I think I'm just gonna go for the rest of the show. I'm just gonna.
I told you. Let me just tell you. I prefaced this that said this was going to be a train wreck of a show.
Jesus Christ! Yeah. Yeah, GD's just sabotaging us left and right here.
No, fuck him. Fuck him. This is his last day.
That's probably his last day, isn't it, boss?
Definitely. I don't see Paul's name listed in anything here as a writer, director, an actor in this. Are you sure about this? Or are you just on some kind of hair drugs or something?
Well, I did get my hair done yesterday. Thank you very much. It looks so good.
He's got his braids tied too tight.
Yeah, they are tight. They are real tight. Matter of fact, every time I go in to get this done and they tighten it up, I look 4 years younger because they just pull the wrinkles right out of my face.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
pull the line.
Yeah.
I go in like this.
Mrs. Doubtfire action.
Yeah.
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 I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille.
No, I think you're lying to me about this whole thing. We'll find out when he gets in here in just a minute.
The truth will set you free.
What was that?
Sorry.
You're muted.
I'm
So
having a lot of characters in my head.
neither of you guys want to like bow down to me how I prognosticated correctly the Republican reaction to their own mistakes. You don't want to say like
it was. We all knew that. We all, you didn't just read the tea leaves. You read the tea leaves that everybody already saw.
What you're saying is I'm not special.
Oh no, you're special.
Oh, you're very
you're
special.
Yeah. You get the best seat on the short bus, but that's not.
We're all special in our own way.
Yeah. We all have a seat on the short bus. That's not a problem.
All right. Well, anyway, I don't know the idea of, first of all, Rogan, whatever his name is, Vivek. Wants Rogan to be the moderator of the Republican debates from now on. Rogan and I forget, it wasn't Tucker Carlson, another right-wing guy he wanted. And the thing is, they forget that Rogan just 5 years ago, maybe a little longer, was a Bernie Sanders guy. So I think Rogan would be annoyed that the Republicans were calling him out as a Republican. I don't know. He hasn't reacted.
I mean, he definitely doesn't identify. He doesn't self-identify that way at all. Definitely not.
I'm not sure he self-identifies as human, but that's okay too.
That's true. But so
no, he probably feels a little superhuman.
Then after he went on saying that he wanted Rogan to moderate the debates, he wants a wall on the Canada side. I don't know if you heard. He wants a Canadian wall, not just a wall on the southern border, but on the northern border as well.
To separate Canada from Antarctica? I mean, from the Arctic? Is that it?
From America. Not from Alaska, just from on the Sioux Falls side.
Just from Detroit, really, is all there is.
Oh, okay, I can understand that.
And actually, it's Canada that wants the wall built so that they don't have to look at Detroit anymore.
All right. So anyway, So and they came out with a whole bunch of
But if you put the wall there, wouldn't that interrupt the free drug exchange where we would be getting their good Viagra and they'd be getting our good crack?
I don't know. It's not. Well, first of all, I don't think any walls are going to stop anybody ever. They never. I mean, you can talk about prison walls and
I mean, how many fucking tunnels? How many fucking drug cartel tunnels have we fucking found in this area already? And our answer is build a fucking wall. They're already going underground, you fucking idiots.
Right.
Like fucking duh.
Yeah.
Duh.
And it would stop all of the submarines that would be coming in with the drugs also, and the boats and the ships.
Then the drugs issue, it cracks me up because, like, I want to ask them, do you think anybody, like the cartels, are twisting people's arms and saying, buy drugs? Or does it work the other way around? The people are saying, give us drugs. And
I mean, they're bringing it here because America has a huge demand for drugs. If there wasn't a demand for drugs, they're not, I mean, they're going to go where they can sell it. I mean,
they keep on acting like it's being forced upon us.
I have to address this issue about demand for drugs. It's also the girls for drugs, the boys for drugs, and the women for drugs. It's not just demand for drugs, okay? All the genders, all those people want the drugs. It's not just demand. It's the women, the boys, the girls.
You understand why he's not as funny as Tom Segura now. You get it?
Oh, my God.
You get it?
Dude, I was just confused. I was like, when did we say anything about... Where is this coming from?
Demand for drugs. Oh my God.
Are you having like parts of this conversation in your head that you're not like telling us about? Because that helps. That helps keep us all up to speed.
You know what happened?
My wife listen, I had to learn this because I used to do the same thing. I would fucking just like out of like 5 minutes of silence, I would start about 3/4 of the way into a conversation that I was having with my wife in my head. and she's got to catch up when I finally say something.
All right, wrap
You
it
know
up.
what I mean?
We got to bring our guest in. We're 20.
Oh.
I'm 20 minutes into this fucking thing already. How does that happen?
It's a clock. It does like this. It goes when we
I
start
understand,
talking.
but I didn't
Yeah.
talk that long. I mean, it's every time we let Willie open his mouth, the clock just goes. That's what happens. Anyway, I really need to run a commercial. I'm going to have to pick a really short one here so we can get this thing rolling and get Paul in here and find out that he actually is in Shark Island and
Hey,
produced it.
you know what I like about commercials?
What?
It's just more of me talking.
That's true.
It's time to unleash your creative excellence. Dreams won't work if you don't. They never happen overnight, and they rarely follow a straight line. Excellence is a result of the hustle, consistently pushing to do better. And success looks different for everyone. CreativeLive.com charts paths and tailors content for students, but they also encourage independent thinking and exploration. Go outside of your comfort zone. Who knows? You might actually like it. Right now, you can get up to 70% off through this exclusive offer for Coffee with the Dog. CreativeLive.com has site-wide sale for Coffee with the Dog listeners. Save up to 70% off. Go to minddogtv.com and click on the link on the homepage now.
All right, I got to address this really quickly before we bring Paul in. Mike Chavola, I like Mike Chavola. He's a good guy, really good guy. He's not a political thinker, and he's very no political acumen whatsoever. He says, does a locked door stop people from walking in your house? No, but it will slow them down. Not if there's 50,000 of them every fucking minute. You could have a fucking door locked. The problem is not going to go away with a wall. The problem is people are desperate to come here by the millions, 12 million a year. You can have a fucking door, you can have a wall, you can have a fucking wall to the moon. You're not going to stop people till you deal with the problem of why they're coming here.
Right.
It's
that's true.
Pathetic when you see a fucking comment like that, like, oh, do you have a fence around your yard? We're not talking about one person at a time, dude. Fucking wake up. We're talking about people are fleeing dictatorship and extreme poverty like you have no idea about,
right?
It by the millions and coming here. Why? Because of the policies that we created in south of our border that make them want to flee those countries to come here. Until we deal with that, you can fucking build a wall around the sun. You're not going to stop fucking people from coming to America. I got pissed off
and like
that.
when you think about the disparity, you know, everybody's been taking a hit since 2020. You know what I mean? And like the gap between the rich and the poor has gotten wider.
We got to bring a guest in, man. I just wanted to clear that up. I just wanted to respond to that one fucking thing. Paul Collette is an actor, producer, director. His film that he's got coming out is called Holiday Boyfriend. It is a romantic comedy that he stars in as well. And apparently he has a film called Shark Island that is not out yet. Welcome, Paul Collette. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Give us an idea. Now straighten us out on the Shark Island deal. What's the deal there?
So yes, I am in Shark Island. I was one of the producers on it, and I did do some of the rewriting and stuff in the script and stuff. But Jude is the director, and he's the man behind it. But it's going to come out soon.
Well, why are you not on the IMDb page on it?
I should be. I can check it again after, but I should be attached to it.
You're not, which is why I thought the hair boy there was lying to us or something.
Hair boy.
Anyway, that's a long way from now. It looks like, again, I'm trying to do my research on you. It seems like you are more towards these horror type films or thriller type films, and now you're in a romantic comedy. Did you write Holiday Boyfriend?
I did. I've written most of the films that I've produced. Yeah, I've done some horror and thriller and stuff, and we actually did a comedy years ago called Technicolor Llama as well. I really enjoy comedy, so it's
Did you
kind of a
say
fun place to
Technicolor
go.
Llama?
Technicolor Llama, yep.
That's awesome.
That's not in the.
I want to watch it just off of the title, bro.
Right, thanks, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about a brother and sister morticians who accidentally become great artists, the next big hit in the art world.
Right.
Really? All right.
Anyway.
All right.
So did the SAG thing just got resolved last night? By the way,
Yeah.
SAG thing is over.
Oh, that's
What
good.
did that have any effect on you in the release of these films?
No. We shot the film in January of last year, 22. And it was right in the second phase of the pandemic explosion, and that made it very exciting because we were a SAG film. So we got shut down one day. We had to follow all these rules about being tested and everything, and it was hectic. It made it challenging to shoot the film.
Wow. So the romantic comedy stuff. You said you like comedy, but a romantic comedy. I always think chick flicks. Is this something that guys will want to see on it? Like will go see 9 times and not pay most of the time or half the time?
I think so, yeah, because it's about Mandy fundamentally, who's the main female lead, but it's kind of about Nathan too. So both the sort of characters have their own character arc, and they sort of intertwine with each other, and they aren't necessarily the right person for each other at the beginning, but by the end they are. So.
Right. So to give people an idea, it's she got no boyfriend to bring to Thanksgiving, so she convinces her best friend to pose as a boyfriend. Right.
Yeah. If I can elaborate a little bit on because it's the tight description that I had to normally give.
Right.
But Mandy's basically she believes in the true love and romance thing, but after 20 years she kind of has given up hope on it, kind of thing. She doesn't really believe in the follow your heart kind of philosophy, so she's looking more for good-looking gentleman, who's got money and wealth and stuff, right?
Right.
So that when love eventually falls apart, at least she won't be poor. And so that's kind of how she's turned. And so she's looking for a rich man, and her mom's giving her pressure. Right.
I feel like that's how most of them start, bro.
So Paul, you'd mentioned that you mentioned Nathan too. Now, did Nathan 1 die in the Haunting of Hellhole Mine?
See, that's what I'm talking
about.
about.
Was someone else. That was
different Nathan. Okay.
That was Luke. Yeah.
See, that's a big gap or a large river to cross between Hellhole and Holiday Boyfriend.
Yeah.
But
vastly different stories. Yeah,
it's completely. You generally, when you see somebody, especially in film, they get into this role of what kind of films they're making. These are very different films.
Hellhole is actually a documentary that they wrote about my first wife's vagina.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but you beat me to it. It would have been funnier if I would have said it. By the way,
I thought it was my first high school.
Especially since you would reveal a little bit about you and my first wife that I didn't know.
Right. Paul, now you do everything on this Holiday Boyfriend. You wrote it, you're in it, you star in it, you directed it, all that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't completely intentional. It's just resources, and when you're doing ultra low budget films, you gotta do more than just the basics. Edited pretty much most of the film too, so.
Wow.
You kind of learn the skills as you go if you want to get the film done, All
right.
So did you also make the snow, or is that someone else who did that?
I think we had to ship the snow in from Oregon or something, yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk turkey here.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving movie. Yeah, Thanksgiving movie.
Did you had to ship in snow?
No, I'm kidding. That was a joke.
No, well, because I can imagine, like, I'm sure that there's plenty of movies.
No, it's a low budget film. You don't ship in snow.
Right. That's what I went.
Bring in snowmaker. Like it's like you've never been skiing, bro. You know what I mean? Like they make snow.
Wait,
Ball
you know,
sack.
in League of Their Own, they shipped in the baseballs.
I swear to Christ. You know,
Oh.
fucking,
Anyway, you say low budget. Can we get a how much money are we talking about? How much can you make a film for?
Well, I'm gonna say less than $500,000, just to be safe. I think it looks pretty good, but it's difficult to make a film on independent films anymore because it's so hard to get that kind of money to be able to produce it.
Yeah,
You have
yeah,
to just come up with creative solutions, you know.
I get it, man. It's really difficult, and the problem is everybody thinks they can do it for almost no budget. Which is like,
Yes.
we want to make a film.
Well, yeah, actors want to get paid, and
Yeah.
Right.
crew want to get paid, and yeah.
Well, here's the thing with a lot of independent, and believe me, I've had a lot of independent and small, low budget filmmakers on, and they want to skimp on that. Okay, actors want to get paid. I'll use my cousin Al. My cousin Al has been in Mystery Dinner Theater.
Yeah.
He's and all that kind of stuff. And catering costs money. I'll get my sister to make the food for the people, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I try to talk people out of that. Like, it's just a
Yes.
disaster. If somebody has never acted in film before and you're
It's
expecting
not
them to
the
do
place to start.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not the place to start. So yeah, congratulations. It does look, at least from the trailer, it looks like a top notch. I would swear
Thank
it's
you.
part of the Hollywood filmmaking machine.
Good. Cool. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Very good stuff. Now, Sally Kirkland is the obviously one of the more recognizable names in the
Yeah,
cast.
she's great. She's wonderful to work with.
How do you get somebody with a name?
I found, well, if you know who you want, you can go directly to their agent, but it's best if you know somebody who knows them. And
Right.
that's how I got to Sally and to Louis. Actually, and to Natasha. It was through someone already I was connected to. And he said, yeah, I know Natasha. Let me give her a call and see if she'd be interested. And then you
Wow.
got to go from there. But definitely it's not just the connection, it's the script. If the
Right.
script isn't something they like, they're not going to do it.
Right.
And the great thing is I'd worked with Sally already in the Hellhole project. And when Natasha read the script, she was like, "Oh, please, I want to play Mandy. I don't care. Just let me play Mandy."
Wow.
So I was like, "Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very cool. Now, where are you from originally? I mean, and
Yeah, I'm originally from San Francisco.
okay.
So, and I did a lot of community theater in my early days.
Right. Now, getting into film in places like that are not LA, Hollywood, or New York, or some of the unique challenges there.
Yeah, well, it is. It's hard to get into films in general, but I think it's easier to get in films kind of if they're not in LA, just because there's so many people in LA. Like when I put up a listing for a role, I would get like 800 or 1,000 applications, and I'm a low budget film. So,
Right.
yeah.
Did you go to film school?
I didn't. I learned most of it from doing it, kind of thing. I'm dyslexic, and reading books never really goes well for me.
Right.
So I usually learn by actually doing things. So I volunteered on sets and would help out and learn different ropes and things. And it's kind
Good
of how
for
I
you.
learned my way through. Yeah.
Good for you. 'Cause I talk so many people I talk to. They say film school, you don't really learn how to make films there. The benefit of film school is networking and getting to meet people who you're going to
Yeah.
work on films with after film school. And I'm thinking, well, that's an awful big investment just to go meet people, especially like you're talking NYU Film School or something like that, where you're going to spend $120,000 a year for your education. You're going to be deep in debt just to get to meet people. It's got to be a better way. So good for you. I'm glad you did that.
So, Paul, are you in San Francisco now?
No, I'm in LA now.
Okay, because the reason why is I was talking to a friend of mine who's in Florida, and the two of you had the exact same apartments. So I was wondering who your designer was, because y'all have the exact same piano, the same sofa. I mean,
you're kidding. Someone else has my piano.
Yes,
I'm gonna have to check
the
into that.
exact same designer.
I think he might have stolen my stuff.
I just want to let you know, Paul, that GD is desperately trying to be funny because he's been told that he's
Oh,
not
good.
funnier than Tom Segura, and I think it scarred him, much like race issues have scarred him so deeply that he can't get over it, can't get past it. But if you know a good hair guy in LA, he might be interested in that.
I don't, but
There's a lot of hair people in LA.
That
a
can
lot
do
of hair
this.
people.
That can
A
do
lot of hair
this. Oh, come on! Look at this. Look at
Yeah.
this.
So now the film, it's time to come out this time of year, a holiday
Yeah.
film. Is it coming out digitally? Are you doing a theatrical release?
It is. No, we're not doing theatrical, unfortunately, but we are doing digital, and we're on Amazon Prime now. We should be on Tubi and Apple TV probably pretty soon. I mean, they haven't told me it's up, but they usually pick up my films, so it should be in a few days.
Now,
what about Hallmark? Because I was looking at the previews for the trailer. Sorry, for the Holiday Boyfriend, and I'm thinking this has Hallmark all over it.
Right? I know. I investigated through a few avenues, and Hallmark's kind of like, unless we make it or it fits a exact format, then we're not interested. And so one of the people I contacted said, basically, your film's too funny for Hallmark.
Wow.
I was going to say you had too many black people, but okay, Phil, that's a different thing. Yeah.
See, I told you.
Well, that's what made it funny.
Right.
Yeah. That's interesting that Hallmark, they want you to fit your film. So people have to remake their films in order to fit Hallmark's requirements?
Pretty much, they
I
have
can
to
see
prove
that. They're
the
very
script.
cookie cutter.
Yeah. They pretty much have to prove your script before you start shooting.
I mean, that's the part of what I can't stand about watching movies on fucking Hallmark is they're all the fucking same. It's the same fucking story regurgitated in a different fucking package over and over again.
Yeah.
Like,
now, but if you think I can almost understand, because in the old days with was it MGM? MGM had the same format for almost all of their films. It was boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy finds girl again, boy gets girl back, or something. It was like the same format.
And then the murder-suicide thing at the end. Right.
Yeah.
It always ends in a murder-suicide. Happy endings. That's what we like.
Yeah.
So now talk to me, because I'm sure when you're writing this thing, you're excited about making the film. Then you get involved in making the film, and there's all these challenges to get funding and all that kind of stuff. Do you first of all, do you go the Indiegogo? How do you get funding? How do you get investors? How do you get money behind the film?
So I go the fool's path. I fund the films myself because I know I've tried Indiegogo, I've tried finding investors, and I've just spent so many years wasted. It's really hard to get someone to write an actual check. And so it became, okay, well, I'm going to have to do it myself. So then I had to figure out a timeline of how long it'll take me to make this much money. And that'll be the budget. And can I do it for this budget? And where can I do it for that budget? And so.
Oh my God. So, So you came up with $500,000.
Less
sure.
than half a million.
Yeah.
Less than half a million.
Less than half a million. Yes.
Yes, there could be 12,000.
Right.
So how much coke did you sell?
Well, it was COVID. I was selling those,
tests. You were selling tests.
Exactly. Yeah, they were selling those tests for $75 for a while. So.
Wow. Wow.
I was selling used ones for only $40. So
now,
just selling PPEs.
Did you shoot on film or did you shoot on video?
We shot on digital. I did a couple things to sort of save money because I knew I had a great DP that I was going to have. So I shot with 2 cameras, and we shot in digital, and we ended up being able to shoot the film in 11 and a half days.
So you said DP, and they may be. I know what a DP is, but people out there may not know. So if you don't mind telling them.
Well, Will thinks of it as double penetration, but
no, it's the cinematographer. It's the man behind the camera.
Right.
It was Jan Frame, and he's great. I used him on the last film, and with Holiday Boyfriend, half the time I would just start setting up the actors for what I wanted to do, and I'd say, "Can you?" Yeah, and he'd be, "Yeah." And then I'd say, and what about if we, okay. So then I look through the frame and look through the camera and I'm like, yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I want.
That's great. Now that's the other thing that a lot of independent filmmakers don't take into account is that the look and getting everything from lighting to that cinematic look that you're looking for. They just think it's I got a camera, and I know several people. I got a really good camera, a red camera, and it's just the gear isn't as important as having that expert eye, the person who knows
It
how to
really
get
is.
the look
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Go
I
ahead.
know one thing that's important when releasing a film is like the cover image. What's your cover image for Holiday Boyfriend? Because I definitely have a vision if you'd like to hear it.
It's a
No,
picture of you.
no. Paul, you don't want to hear it.
We want to hear it. We want to hear
Well,
it.
I'll tell you what the original was the couple, Mandy and the rich boyfriend, and then behind them a tree is falling that the rich guy is pushing over, and Nathan is catching the tree. So it kind of gives you a sort of dynamic of what's going on behind it. And then I was ready to go with that, and then somebody said it kind of looks like the guy behind the tree is creeping on the girl, like he's stalking her or something. It's like, well, we don't want that impression, so I had to simplify it. So it's basically the rich man and the woman looking a little stunned a bit, and then the tree falling in the background, so you get an idea that something's going on, something's falling apart. So it's tough. You got to be quick. Yeah, go ahead.
That's way different than the image that I had in my head, because I pretty much I was thinking something simple. I was thinking a man just in a Santa hat, maybe a red bow tie, and a nice ribbon on the package. Holiday Boyfriend,
Yeah. Yeah.
This is why you have not been hired as a marketing director for films.
But we'll be producing the next Hallmark Christmas movie.
There you go.
Can I show the trailer here?
Yeah, sure.
Let's see if I can show the trailer here. Can I show the trailer here? It's there it is. Something's happening. There we go.
Nature singing as the bells on bobtail ring.
My name's Blake.
Isn't he just perfect? He's handsome. He's rich. This is it, guys. I think he's the one.
I'm gonna have to leave town.
Be my boyfriend.
What?
Just for Thanksgiving. You'll be Blake.
I'll be Blake.
Yes, thank you.
It's just a little harmless play acting. They're small town folk. How hard can it be? You can sit down now.
Must I?
Oh, Blakey! Ow, my crumpets!
Do you like fruitcakes? So you two are engaged. You seem engaged. You have that bitter aura.
I'm thankful for a body that can lure men to their death.
Look what you've done! Please don't let me go through another lonely holiday.
So typical. Some upper-class citizens spill champagne and I get thrown out. This is exactly why the French people revolted in the first place.
Jesus.
Excellent. Definitely has again that mystique, the kind of professional Hollywood machine. If I did not know this was an independent film, I would think it was a studio production. So
wow, thank you.
Tell me about music, and because there's a little bit of music in there, and the challenge of getting the right music for your film.
Yes, that's interesting too, because Michael Collin is my composer for music. He did The Shadows for me, which was like 15 years ago, and he did such a great job on it. I had him do the music for the next film, and basically he's been my composer on every film. Even though they've changed genres so dramatically and stuff. And I was like, he's just great, because you want someone who's not just good at their job, but somehow knows how to read your mind. Like, oh yeah, I know this is the kind of music I think you want here and there. And whenever he'd present me with stuff, it was always at least very close to what I was thinking. So
right. Well, that's great. And you know what? In any creative endeavor, it's good to have people who are you said read your mind, just people who are on the same page, and that's the
Yeah.
biggest challenge of any team
Yeah.
assembly in creative work is Will, you're muted, by the way. I don't know if you know you're muted. Will, you know? Okay. He knows he's muted. Sometimes he does, and sometimes he doesn't, which is why I said that. Anyway, now where I was going with the budget stuff. When you're putting that together and you're making the film, do you keep in mind I'm going to need $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, whatever it is for marketing once the film is produced, or is that an afterthought? Like, okay, we finished the film, now what, and how do I get people to know about it?
Yeah, no, I'm smart enough now that I realize that, yeah, you've got to set aside time for, money for publicity and advertising as much as possible and stuff. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I definitely did set aside money for that.
Now, what about product placement in films? What's your opinion about that?
And
I
can we
think
get
it's
coffee?
fine if you can get them. They just aren't interested in my films because we're not big enough and stuff, and we don't have guaranteed
I'll give you
distribution and
$10 to
stuff.
put Mind Dog Coffee in your next movie.
Done.
But you have to use the girls on the counter.
No, just the coffee.
No,
no, yes. Well, you're muted, dude. Well, you're talking, but you're muted.
Yeah.
I saw your lips moving.
I forgot. I forgot. I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm glad that you saw my lips moving. I had to mute it because there was a little bit of noise, so I didn't want to interrupt.
Murder suicide going on in the back?
No, just my niece going to school.
Yeah, same thing. Do you recall what you were saying in response to that coffee with the coffee?
Oh, I've never even thought about, we could try and get somebody to like put the podcast, like listening to the podcast in a movie. You know what I mean? Like walk into a room and the podcast is what they're watching or something.
Yeah, we have budget. We got another $20 in it for that, if we can get that in one of your movies as well. So.
I'll keep you in mind.
Oh, well, thanks. Now, so this film is out already. It's out in where'd you say? Not Tubi.
It's on Prime Video right now. It's on Amazon Prime right now. It's on Reveal and Glued TV. If Flix Fling, I think, is another one. But those are, not as well known and stuff. So, big
you have to do all that administrative back end bullshit work, contacting people, or yourself, or do you have some help with that? Because this is my biggest problem. Is I'm doing everything by myself. I have one guy who's out getting his hair done all day, another guy who's like getting himself arrested for whatever all day, and I'm in on this alone.
Yeah, I farm out as much as I can. I mean, I have to do some research myself and stuff, but I really hate doing marketing because it's not my skill set, and you got to do it well. So I do certain things, and then I farm out other parts of it to have someone who's skilled at setting up like Google Ads and stuff. Have them put it up and connect it and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, like the contacting Tubi or Tubi. Amazon Prime and all that stuff, all those little forms you got to fill out for people and that kind of crap, that can be an endless nightmare part of the work. That you're a filmmaker, you got into it to make films, write films, produce films, and not fill out forms and go jump through red tape and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, no, I go through Film Hub, which is sort of an independent film distributor, and they contact all of them for it.
All right, very cool. That's a good piece of information there that we didn't have before.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So now, if sorry to bug you on the financials, and maybe a lot of people might be a little uncomfortable with this. Tubi, it baffles me because they have commercials on there. Do you get paid for the commercials, or they're taking all that revenue? Because I can go on and watch it for free, as long as I deal with the commercial stuff, right? But
right, so it's a little bit complicated. You get essentially paid for how many commercials people watch and stuff, so how long. Plus, if they click on the commercial, then you get a bonus. And if they buy the product, things like that, then there's bonus income and stuff. So it's all sort of based on all that information.
And how transparent is the accounting on that? Like, do they? Do you have it? Are they ripping you off? Is the question.
Well, since Film Hub stands as my distributor, it's kind of for them to make sure they're not ripping me off. But all I see is, you know, a dollar value that comes in per month, and Film Hub has it itemized out at how many times it's been seen and for how long and so forth.
Wow.
So I let them worry about that, and I just kind of collect them. So they get their percentage, and then I just watch the money.
So now, as a filmmaker, and this is your passion, you're a writer, producer, director, and all that stuff. Do you are you already invested in your next project? I mean, emotionally and creatively invested in your next project, or do you have to wait and see some success with this before you start moving on to your next thing?
Yeah, I need to wait and see some success and stuff so we can gauge and adjust as needed. The industry is changing so fast, you know, with streaming and stuff. You have to keep knocking your budget down, and that just makes you have to choose different scripts and stuff. So we're checking to see how this goes to the end of the year, and then we'll figure out what project we do next. I kind of had an action movie earmarked, but we'll see.
Now, do your friends have to like your films?
No.
No,
my brother and sister usually do, because I usually have them, you know, watch some of the drafts and stuff to give me feedback and things. But, you know, if people don't like it, it's okay. It may not be their kind of film.
Right. Well, I would think it would be hard to find somebody who likes all your films, because Hellhole and Holiday Boyfriend and Shark Island, I mean, you're all over the map.
Different, yeah.
But that's a good thing, I think, to be diverse.
Well, it's a good thing, but I think it'd be hard to find one group that likes them all, or one.
Right. One market.
But you could have a thread that goes through all of them, like her boyfriend dies in the mine, and that's why she's looking for a holiday boyfriend now. You know, so you can just go follow through. And now they're together at Shark Island.
I do have a little. I do leave little clue things in my in each of my scripts that sort of connects to one of the other films and stuff. So it's kind of
you have some Easter eggs.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Easter eggs or like that. What now? The challenge.
He likes to call them Paul potatoes. He doesn't call them Easter eggs.
Yes. The old Paul potatoes.
What's this? Tom Segura is playing where tonight? I'm sorry. The challenges of independent films. Now, you don't have a backlot to shoot on, right? So everything everything you have to find locations to shoot in. What is that? Now, there's got to be a big difference between doing that for Shark Island and for a Holiday Boyfriend. But the challenges there. Talk to me about like finding spaces to shoot in.
Well, Shark Island we shot in Thailand, and the director had a location that he could use.
Wow.
For The Haunting of Hellhole Mine was kind of an interesting one, because I have a good friend who is usually my producer on the films, a line producer, and she lives in Salinas, California. And I was figuring together how we were going to do this gold mine set and stuff, because I'd have to build the whole thing. And she lives on a big plot of land, and so I said, "Hey, Tammy, you know, you think we could maybe take part of your land and build a set?" And she said, "Yeah, okay, we can make that work."
Wow.
So we shot the film in Salinas. We built the set, the entire set. That's the whole 150 feet mine. It was quite an endeavor. We built it in about 3.5 weeks, and then and then shot everything else in Salinas, and it was fun.
Did anybody say you're out of your fucking mind?
I did a few times. Yeah.
Well, as long as it's just you.
Well, yeah. The voices in my head say I'm sane, so that's how I know I am.
Wow, that's cool.
Good enough for me.
Yeah.
Good enough for me too.
I get that.
Yeah, so that really interesting stuff there, because I would think that would be the biggest challenge. I mean, we need a fucking mine. Who's got a mine we can shoot in?
Yeah,
you know.
Well, it took 10 years to make the film. because
Wow.
I was looking at other options, and I looked at actual mines, which most of them they won't let you go in, and then caves and stuff, but they're never in a good location. You can't like truck out 20 people to shoot at a cave, out in the woods.
Yeah,
So it
Bisbee
became,
might have you've already
yeah,
made that film, but it's a little too late
yeah,
for advice on it. But 10 years. So I guess the lesson here is you got to have a lot of patience to be an independent filmmaker. You got and stick to itiveness and all that kind of stuff. 10
for
years is
sure.
I would quit after 10 months. That's
I
just
understand. No, for sure.
So the
The
script
good.
was ready. So the script was ready, and you were waiting for 10 years.
Well, the script was ready, but the script, I would revise my scripts. If something big came to mind, then I would change it. At the very least, I would revise them every year. So that was the thing I was going to say. It's a much better script than it was 10 years before.
right. Yeah.
Now,
So
what about the people you envisioned? Like, let's say when you started it, I don't want to put words into your
Yeah.
mouth, but let's say when you first started it, the lead was some guy with dreads. It looked kind of like
Yes.
this. And then after 10 years, he doesn't look like that because you've evolved as a person. Did your characters also evolve in those 10 years?
They did. It's kind of it can be a weird and interesting experience because you kind of have the characters they'll sort of talk to you, kind of, I guess.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like, hey, I kind of don't feel comfortable with this kind of thing,
While
I
you
like
while
this
you were
girl
waiting,
more,
I've gone
whatever.
through a divorce now.
Right, exactly. Well, or other things come to mind, or you start realizing, oh, this is what my mind was actually talking about, what it was thinking about when I went, with this storyline. And now that I understand that, I can write it clearer than I was before because it was just ethereal.
oh my God! You just described my nightmare in the film that I tried to make, because I had written this film about a guy who was a rock star wannabe, a musician wannabe, but was like wasting his life away and not really throwing himself 100% into it. He was cab driver and all this stuff, ODs and all this stuff, and it dawned on me 7 years into the making of this film, and we had shot 3/4 of it, that he was getting too old to be playing this part. So I had to recast the lead with a younger guy and
Yeah.
start over at that point,
Oh,
and never finish the film because of that.
oh, that's a
Like,
shame. Yeah, I
yeah,
understand.
that was my nightmare. Thank you for reminding me, GD. Now,
That's okay. I have unfinished stuff for some similar reasons, except for one of mine died.
yeah, well, the lead actor in that died too. So yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
my 2 rules are don't start shooting until you have all the budget, and don't write the script until you know how it ends.
Right. Yeah. Well, the
Until you
script.
know how it ends.
So you know how it ends, because if you don't know how it ends, you can't go there.
Yeah, you'll
You
just
can't-
keep writing. I
Everything
suppose.
needs to go that way. Right. Exactly. Yeah. And I
that-
found that sometimes the reason people don't know how the film ends, that they're writing, the screenplay that they're writing, is because they mentally or emotionally have not gotten to that place yet.
Right.
Sure.
Because we are getting short on time. I
Right.
always just like run past stop signs and all this kind of stuff. Are you intentionally like in the witness protection program? Because if I try to do some like research on you now, obviously GD's a little bit better than me. He knew about Shark Island, but trying to dig stuff up on you was really difficult. Most guests that I have are not like on. I can find out everything about them. I find out, what elementary school they went to and what their dog's name is. You are a man of mystery. Is that by intention?
Well, a little bit. I'm also a computer programming developer, and so I kind of try and keep them
Keep your world
separated
separate.
a little bit. Yeah, but on IMDb everything should be listed. But yeah, I found that my computer consulting database work, that in one case when they found out I was a filmmaker, they kind of lost confidence in me. Like, what? We've got this in the hands of an actor? This is crazy. No, that's too dangerous.
Well, that's interesting that you say that, because I was in a business meeting recently that trying to get some funding to upgrade our production here and that kind of stuff. And I said too much. I know I happened to, and this is because I was watching
You mentioned my name, didn't you? That's what happened.
I did. No, I was watching these the lessons from the Godfather, and they always say, learn to, the less you say in a business meeting, the more people will be, intrigued and willing to work with you. Don't say too much, and that's the lesson. And then I got that lesson, but I blew it, and I happened to mention I was running for Congress, and I'm certain that ruined the deal for me. So I got to learn to keep my mouth shut, and that's a big part of it. And I would love to keep my world separate, but when people find out you're doing one thing, for me,
right,
it definitely doesn't work out that way.
I love it.
I'm too all over the place, and I'm too much of an open book on the internet. That's a danger of the internet. You can find out anything about anybody. Good for you. I'm glad you figured out a way to keep your world separate. Anyway,
it's funny because I came across the other Paul Collette, and I did not realize that was also you. I said, "Okay, I don't need to know this," and just discarded it.
Yeah. So yeah, well, we wish you great success with the film, and
thank you very much.
And if there's anything we can do to promote it further, just let me know. I mean, we will try to keep mentioning it here on the program for a while until we forget, which happens quite. We're very forgetful around here.
No problem.
But send us reminders, anything that you got coming up, whether it's it's getting on Apple or launching on a new platform or that. Just drop us a line, and we'll definitely remember to mention it to people. So.
Sounds good.
And if you're ever shooting on location in Westminster, Maryland, I have tremendous range. I can play a black guy with his hair down. I can play a black guy with his hair pulled back.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Can you do a reverend?
That is
I can try to do a reverend. I'm not really good at it. But I can also play like a black guy with glasses and without glasses. I have tremendous range, Paul.
Like Clark Kent.
Wow, that's crazy.
Clark Kent.
Okay, I'll see what I can do. I'll try and design something around that.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for being flexible this morning, and
no problem.
And thanks for being here. And
thank you for the opportunity.
Best of luck with the film.
All right, thank you.
Bye. Interesting.
I'm gonna be a star.
Interesting stuff.
I'm gonna be a star.
You're gonna be. You're gonna be a star. It'd be I don't know, the remake of Joe Jackson's story. This holiday boyfriend thing I wanted to talk about because I don't know.
Go like, Tito, how's that bass coming along, boy? How's that bass coming along, boy? How's that pentatonic scale?
Remember that guy, that doctor I had who did the Jackson 5, who did the La Chic or whatever it was hit, Get Down Boogie Oogie Oogie. That thing. He worked with those guys who produced the Jackson 5. What's the hell? One more, give me one more chance, whatever. I Want You Back.
Yeah.
But I think the studio musicians played. I don't think Tito really played the bass. I don't think any of the Jacksons were really playing those instruments.
No, I don't think so either. I think they just sing and dance.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. According to the doc, who was, I can't remember his name.
I've never seen an instrument in any of their hands.
No, I've seen it.
But could it have been like the Partridge Family when they first started shooting the show? They couldn't play instruments, but eventually many of them learned.
That's true. That's true. Like the Monkees too. The Monkees did that.
Yeah.
Hey, where the monkeys feet,
we know how to
around.
The Banana Splits, they played their own instruments, and Lancelot Link, they also played their own instruments, but they didn't know how to play them in the beginning.
Now, Will doesn't know who Lancelot Link is.
What?
Who is?
Find some footage. Put him up there. Let him see Lancelot Link. Can you find footage of Lancelot Link?
I think I will get sued over that. It's not like a trailer or anything. But
who is it?
Lancelot Link.
And the Evolution Revolution.
This is the epitome of comedy. You don't get comedy any more highbrow, or funnier than the Lancelot Link stuff.
It was tremendous. It was
what do you? Now, listen. I'm familiar with lowbrow comedy. What's this highbrow comedy you speak of?
That's lowbrow comedy. That's lowbrow comedy on Botox. That's all.
Why can't I?
Oh, so it's like stuck-up comedy.
Yeah, Botox. Yeah,
right. Yeah, stick up your ass comedy is what it is.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, the best comedians with that
is that where you like joke about the problems you're having with your yacht and shit like that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. That makes it. No wonder I know nothing about that. I've never been on a boat with a motor. Like I've been in the canoe.
You motorboated, but you've never been on a boat with a motor.
I have not been motorboated. That would, dude. You know what? I don't agree with violence towards women, but if a woman motorboated me, I might punch her in the face.
Why?
Why? I'd be so mad. I'd be so mad. Like that, dude. Like, I'll never forget. There was one time, we were, the wife and I were being sexy, and she cupped my man boobs, like girl boobs, and I immediately like locked up, like my entire body just froze, and I looked at her, and I was like, "We don't do that."
All right. Quickly, couple of things I wanted to mention here, because I'm going back to where I started with the Republican debate last night. Tim Scott, who he's been worried that people are saying that he might be gay, and this is a real concern among Republicans. It's like, God forbid we're going to nominate a guy who might be gay.
That'd be fucking fabulous.
Right, but so he had to come out and prove he has a girlfriend, because he's been saying he's had a girlfriend forever. So he had to come out last night and prove he had a girlfriend. He brought this girl out who looked like an actress, looked like she was playing the part.
She probably was.
I know, and this holiday boyfriend thing kind of ties into that. It's like this, you're
great.
faking it. Yeah. I mean, if you see the footage, the girl looks like she's acting as, she was hired to play his girlfriend last night.
He could have hired Lindsey Graham to do the same thing, and probably for less money.
Hopefully, she at least blew him if she was hired.
One of the things that what's his name?
I think that'll cost you a little extra, by the way.
Yeah, Tim Scott.
It probably does. I'm sure it does.
Wait, Genie's trying to be funny.
Oh no! Actually, I was being political. But the Republicans have gotten their asses kicked so much over abortion bans that now they're just they've stopped using the word ban and they started using the word limit, because people aren't smart enough to realize it's the same policy. Right. They're just changing the word.
Right. Well, I mean, listen, like the girls that are having abortions at the rate that they could be using a fucking punch card. We need to get rid of that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Whenever the agents from Trump try to
they deserve the right to choose.
Hold on. Stopping them, and only the veritable quandary has the classified case files of Lancelot Link, secret chimp.
Lancelot Link, secret chimp. Stands for justice, has no fear, he's the to call when trouble is near. Lance Link, gotta come through, everybody is counting on you. Being out of Harry, an internet friend that shall stick by your side right to the end. Darwin is the leader on the side of good. Fight Trump agents like a good egg should. Oh, Lance Link.
All right, let's go.
Thank you very much, folks. Thank you very much for this group, the entire Evolution Revolution group. I want to say thanks. Thank you again. Yeah, thank you.
All right, that was a little bit of Lancelot Link. We had to educate you on this stuff. Now, you were saying something meaningless and unimportant when we rudely interrupted you. You remember what that nonsense you were babbling about was?
Man boobs, and his wife touched him there, and he just lost it.
Oh yeah, we didn't care about that.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for our next guest, Michelle Ryder, known as Shelly Belly. Not your ordinary Southern belle. She's taken the comedy and social media scene by storm. Shelly Belly has become one of the most top sought after female comedians throughout the United States, and she's got a couple of dates coming up weekend in our area, in my area, not your area. Well, GD's kind of area. Next weekend, the 17th and 18th. Let's welcome her in. Good morning, Shelly Belly.
Hello, how are y'all?
We are well, except for Will. He's a little brain damaged, but the rest of us are okay.
I'll watch out for him then, okay?
Yeah, probably.
Now, where are you from, Southern Belle?
I'm from South Carolina, and I can tell y'all are not.
Does it show?
Yep.
Yeah, I think I have a little bit of an accent. I've been told I've had a little bit of an accent, but I can't really hear it. Anyway, so now, what came first? Were you a social media sensation before doing stand up? I mean, that part of it would intrigue me. Is
Well, no, I was actually doing like local shows, and then I got on social media. My son was in the Marines at the time, and he came home and he showed me TikTok. And so I was like, well, I'm going to give it a go. And I'll tell you what a little smart aleck he is. So I got on TikTok and I showed him, I got 200 views on a video. I thought I was big stuff, I was like, woo, woo. And I showed it to him, and he laughed at me, and he said, "Mom, give me a damn break. I mean, really." And I was like, "Oh, you little smart aleck." So I got on TikTok again, and then I got up to 385,000 followers. And then I showed him, and he shut his mouth then. Now I'm at 1.3 million on TikTok, and I'm up to 160,000 on Instagram and 687,000 on Facebook.
wow! Congratulations on that.
Thank you. And so then I was on social media, and then I was on Netflix on a reality show called The Circle Season 3.
Right.
And then everybody's like, yeah.
Yeah, she's the Circle Mom.
Yeah. And then everybody said, you've done stand up. This is your time to shine. You need to go do it full time. And the day before my show came out, The Circle, I was laid off my full time job. So I was like, it couldn't have been a better timing. And so I've been touring ever since.
Wow.
Now, were you, because you kind of do blue comedy, but was that your personality before you did comedy, that you talked blue around the house, about the dried vagina and stuff like that? Or was that just
I thought vaginas were pink.
To my husband.
Oh, okay.
No, I've always been a quirky person. I've always, been a jokester. And when I told my husband I want to do stand up, though, my husband looked at me and he goes, "You're not funny," because I'm not funny.
He only thinks that because he takes too much personal.
Exactly. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, William. Thank you. And but now he goes around, he travels with me, and I call him my merch whore. He sells all my merch.
Wow.
That's
nice. That's fucking awesome.
Put him to work.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you say work blue GD. I thought vaginas were pink.
No, I was just referring to her. But actually, it depends on the nationality, the actual color. They're not all pink.
Okay, that's good. Good to know. As you know, I haven't really seen that many of them. Except
Willie, show
the National Geographic. Yeah.
I love hanging out with the guys. I love hanging out with the guys. Guys are so much fun.
Well, if it ever happened. Last night, Matt Rife, who he was in comedy for 12 years, but became an overnight sensation because of TikTok. He was on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and I'm thinking, we've reached a point in society where being on the Tonight Show is less impactful on your career than TikTok.
Yeah, isn't that's a trip. That's a real trip.
Yeah, it's something really to be. So you became famous using new media rather than the old-fashioned ways of getting on late night television and getting known that way. Much like Matt Rife. I mean, so when you get on the late night shows, it'll be kind of a letdown, like a step down from where you are now, right?
Now,
it's a fucking weird world that we live in.
I don't like to brag, but I have been successful in keeping my TikTok following to under 160 people.
Yeah.
So
hey, I just passed 100 YouTube subscribers. I'm so happy.
But here's the thing, though. Social media can be a great thing for a comedian, and it can be a bad thing for a comedian. Let me explain why I say that. And I'm going to say this out loud, and I'm going to say it boldly, and I'm going to say it proud. So as so as a female comedian, it is a hard world. You know, stand-up comedy is a male dominant industry. We all know that.
Absolutely.
And as a female, it is an uphill battle, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And every time I'm told no, you're just telling me yes, right? I'm not going to let anybody get in my way. But there's a lot of people that have made it on, that have gotten big on social media, that are not comedians, never have been comedians, and never will be comedians. But these agencies, booking agencies, see that they have 2 million followers. They pick them up off social media. They write their comedy for them, and they throw them on stage. And these poor people will pay money to go see them, and they're not even funny.
Right.
And they're not even comedians. So people like me, that's a true comedian that loves to do social media. So I don't want to be confused with a social media influencer that's a stand-up comedian. I'm a true stand-up comedian that likes to do social media. There's a big difference.
Right. No, that's why I kind of draw the parallel between Matt Rife, because Matt Rife was in for 12 years before he blew up on TikTok.
On social media,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you reach, and what you're describing, I think is terrible, not just for the people, but it's for the industry, because then people who go to, who are inclined to frequent comedy clubs or go to comedy clubs as an entertainment source, they get a bad taste in their mouth for what that experience is, and it ruins it for everybody. So
you're absolutely. And you know, people like me that does very well on social media, that will, I'm telling you, if you come to my shows, you make sure you pack you some Depends, because you're going to pee in your pants. I can't get picked up by a booker for nothing. I've been trying to get a booking agent forever, and I cannot get picked up.
Isn't that what James Benedetto does for you, or not?
Yeah.
James is a producer. And so he produces shows, and he puts me on shows that he produces. And we do like theaters and things like that. But a booking agent actually puts you in places like the Improv, the Funny Bones. I've been trying to get into the Funny Bone, and I can't. I've been trying to get into the Improvs and can't.
Is it because you don't fit their cookie cutter mold, or that because sometimes it's a matter of they have a certain idea of what a comedian should be, and you don't fit their thing, or sometimes it's, you know, well, you go ahead.
Well, I really don't know what it is. I mean, I'm a researcher. I research other comedians. You know, I admire so many comedians out here that are amazing. There's so many comedians out here that nobody even knows about, that would put a lot of famous comedians under the table, but they just not being discovered yet. And it's a shame, but so I don't really know should there be criteria in stand-up? Because not everybody likes the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
So I think a lot of it is who you know.
Yes.
And I'm not going to kiss anybody's. I hope I can say a bad word.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not kissing anybody's ass.
I think I love you. I think I love you, Shelley. I think I love you.
I'm not going to kiss anybody's ass to get into a club. I want to get into a club, but if they don't have me at their club, it's their loss. You know, I'm so proud that I have, even though I'm Southern, a lot of people think, oh, she's Southern. You know, y'all were just talking about some political stuff. And I thought, Lord, I'm going to get on here and people are going to think I'm Southern, and they're going to think, oh my God, she's one of those Republican women. But I don't ever talk about politics. So we won't go there. But, you know, a lot of people, I guess they think, well, she's Southern, or it could be that I'm a female, or it could be that I just don't know the right people. But my ultimate goal is, if you don't book me in your club, I'm going to find a theater right next door to you, and I'm going to book it, and I'm going to sell it out and make you wish you had me there.
All right. That's a good attitude to have.
Yeah.
I know that Golden Artist Entertainment is definitely, they're generally looking for submissions and stuff like that. They do representation. We've had Dante on the show. Him and his wife, Rebecca, run Golden Artist Entertainment. But they represent a number of comedians. So I would definitely look them up and maybe see if you could submit to them or whatever. You'll probably have to audition or something.
Yeah,
But that might be a good direction.
But JJ Comedy, he's wonderful. James he's amazing to work with. And I called him one day and I said, "Hey James, I'd love to work with you." He booked me at the Wonders Theater in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And when he saw me, he was like, "I got to get you on some more shows." And I was like, "Yes." So he's amazing. I love working with production companies because production companies, they really want to get you out there. They really want you to be successful. He's just amazing to work with.
Yeah, well, my goal is to just have somebody on here who is on the cusp of breaking through, and then when they break through, I can always brag that I had them on my show.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If I don't make it in comedy, I would love to do a sitcom. So many people have told me, "Shelly, you need to do a sitcom."
Yeah, but is that going to be a thing as we go forward in the future? Because network television was built on sitcoms, but network television is kind of being lost to all the streaming services now. I don't know.
Well, and it's not just that, but there's so much. Networks are terrified of comedy shows now because what the fuck can you even say anymore?
Right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like think about the shows that were funny back.
She was worried about saying ass, and you just said what the fuck.
Right.
I know where I can go now. I just let you open the door.
You say whatever the fuck you want here. We don't give a fuck.
You can go anywhere you want to go.
Potty mouth.
Yeah. Now let's just take a moment to plug your shows. Now I'll get to the November the 17th and 18th, which James wanted me to plug for you. But November 15th at the Comedy Works in Sarasota Springs, New York. Then Soul Joel's on the 16th. We were just talking about that yesterday in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. And then the 17th and 18th, which are the shows that James definitely wanted me to talk about at the, what is this? The Mach Chunk Opera House.
In Jim Thorpe, yeah. It's famous. It's a famous opera house. Yeah.
Really? Are you familiar with GD? It's in your neighborhood. Well, not your neighborhood, but it's in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania.
I've never heard of Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania.
Really? Jim Thorpe?
Now, I know who Jim Thorpe is.
You never heard of Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania?
No, I didn't even know he had a town. No.
Wow, I'm floored. You do a lot of shows in PA, though.
Yeah.
That's really wicked. It's a pretty.
And I do a lot of shows in my PJs and in shorts and suits. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Mock Chunk Opera House. I never heard of it, but now that is not like a comedy club, though, right? So have you played these kind of
an opera house?
Yeah, obviously. Have you played these kind of venues before? And is that do you have a preference on that? Because I think comedy clubs were designed specifically for that experience, that more conducive to enjoying comedy than say an opera house or a theater type of thing.
Well, I think with and that's a great question because you're right. Comedy clubs, they're used to, people are used to coming in. They know what they're coming in for. But yes, I have done opera houses. I've done theaters, and I love to do opera houses and theaters because it's, first off, it fits more people, which means more money for me.
I applaud your honesty there, but that's absolutely important. I mean,
but I mean, you have to be very versatile to do both. You have to be able to know how to be personable in a small comedy club, and then you have to know how to work an entire huge stage and how to almost feel like you're sitting in their lap and being personable, even though you're so far away. And that's the hardest part of being in stand-up. Not everybody can do opera houses and theaters.
Right. Now you're coming. These are pretty far north. Have you played New York and Pennsylvania and the Northeast before?
No. Look, I'm so nervous about coming to New York because I heard it's the heckling state.
Oh no, I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
And I'm like, are they going to understand what the hell I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I think Southern accents are
adorable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the word I wanted to use, but, I think they are very attractive to audiences here, and I think you'll do well. It's kind of weird when you come out of your comfort zone and out of wherever, because a lot of the rest of your dates that are listed here are Tennessee and Arkansas and stuff like that, and I can see that could be, you can get into a comfort zone. Coming out of your comfort zone is the only time you grow, and this is should be an interesting little jaunt for you in Sarasota Springs, New York, and Pennsylvania, and all.
And I'm going to be my first time in Illinois in Rosemont at Zany's. I'm going to be there too. So that's going to be
Zany's, nice.
Yeah, I did Zany's in Nashville, sold it out. I love Zany's.
Really?
Zany's is so much fun.
Very cool. Now, so do you have to do all the marketing and promotion for your shows yourself? A lot, because you brought up Zanies, and I'm thinking of a comedian I know who he plays Zanies quite a bit, but he doesn't draw. He's very good. He's very good, but he doesn't draw, and then he always blames it on the promotion. Like, the club didn't promote me well, and I think we've reached a time where, I know it's a very long-winded question. We've reached a time where clubs don't give a shit about promoting you. It's all on you. Is it all on you?
I will say there are some clubs out there that are like that. And that's the good thing about working with promoters versus a club is a club. I just dealt with that in Atlanta, Georgia. I went to a club and there was no promoting at all. I mean, nothing. So you're spending your money to boost posts. You're spending your money. And it's like, what happened to clubs? I mean, without the comedians, you don't have a club, dude. You're not going to sell.
Why don't you have an established audience? Like if I go somewhere and they have shows all the time, but nobody comes to your shows, well, your shows must suck then, because otherwise you would have an established audience that continues to come back.
That's like full circle, though, what we were talking about, because they hire these social media sensations who are kids who don't really have any. And then people come and they say, well, that show sucked, and they're not going back. So you don't get these habitual comedy club goers.
Right.
Right. And so, I mean, and I'm not saying all comedy clubs do that, because there are some comedy clubs, that will work with you, that want you to be successful, that want you to do well, that are excited about you being there. And then some of your comedy clubs are like, you're on your own. I'll do one post and then I'm going to take it out of your pay $1,000 for promotion.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
again, this happened in the Midwest. So but we had Alex Hooper come to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The club,
Nice Guy.
They did a bunch of posts on Facebook. They did a bunch of the little handbill flyers that me and that comedian Alex Hooper, who's been on America's Got Talent, who's been on Comedy Central, and we sold 7 tickets to that show. And I mean, the club promoted it, and we even did some street promoting the evening of the show, and 7 tickets.
I loved his work back in the 70s when he did Schools Out, and no more Mr. Nice Guy. Alice Cooper, you say?
This is really, I must really not enunciate Hooper. Like a basketball player. Hooper.
All right. Now, I know who you're talking about. I just know. I just
Hooper from Whoville.
I just like pissing you off about this stuff. But
you really do. It's just
I'm watching you just go downhill. I'm just watching you just as he's asking you.
Oh my God. Yo, we could do a meltdown someday.
You're muted. Well, you're muted.
To the moon with you.
No, but this Alex Hooper guy, he was on Twitter. I don't. This kind of plays back into this people not showing up to your shows. He's angrily ranting at the fans for not coming to his show on Twitter and yelling at his fans and belittling his fans for not showing up to support him.
I mean, that's not going to help.
No, it's not going to help. But
that was Alex Hooper doing that?
Alex Cooper, yeah.
It's funny because
Alex Hooper.
He was pretty popular in Baltimore, area. I think he may be from the Baltimore area. I'm not sure. And he's like, I opened for Craig Gass and Alex Hooper was on the thing. But Alex Hooper was like frantic. His comedy is like a real frenetic style. And he was like for like 20, 25 minutes in a row, just constant frenetic. And I just was like, okay, after 10 minutes, I'm like, okay, he was like funny, but you don't have time to laugh because he says something. Before you get to laugh at it, he's moved on to the next thing. Before you get to laugh at that, he's moved on to the next thing.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't care that you're not laughing. He just wants to get all this material out in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, that you have to give the audience room to laugh, and you have
Yeah,
to
you
not
can't
step on your
them.
own.
You can't step on the laugh.
Step on your own laughs. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, he had good material, but
a good laugh is like a good stew. You got to let it savor. You just got to savor the moment. You got to let them enjoy it. And not only does the crowd have to enjoy it, but you have to enjoy it and know that crowd is laughing and enjoy it. Know that your joke just hit. It was great and love it. And everybody love it.
Okay, Shelly. Now, other than laughter, you just nailed the joke. You didn't. You not, other than the laughter, what's your favorite response you would hear from the audience, other than laughter?
I would have to say probably a good old snort.
Yeah.
You know,
I get it.
People just like I can't even. I don't know if that's included in the laugh, but for people just to give the biggest, and they're like. And you're like, yes.
Molly Densmore said the same thing. She was here 2 weeks ago, and she said that's her favorite thing when somebody is in the middle of a laugh and they put out a really awkward snort like that, and it's heard by the entire room. That's
right.
You should.
I like the high pitched air intake.
Yeah. You should go to my YouTube and watch. I just posted a video yesterday, and I'm at the Looney Bin, and this woman is just rolling. You can't. I could not even hear myself. The audience was so loud. I had to stop. It was so loud.
Wow.
I have a lot of women that come to my shows because I talk a lot about, being a woman and getting older and what it's like being married and stuff like that. And I talk about being on top and I looked over at the mirror and for the first time I saw myself and what I look like on top. And I'm like, my God, I look like something out of a National
Nature
Geographic documentary, the search for Sasquatch. And I'm like, I never knew that my titties look like goat udders.
I watched that video, and when you said that, I said, she stole my joke. No, I'm just teasing. No, I'm just teasing.
I didn't know you had goat titties.
I know. It's like, I should have said, and my wife goes, well, you're not the only one with goat tits, okay? So it's not. I watched that video. It's very funny.
I'm glad you got to meet GD actually, because today is his last day on the program.
I did watch it. I didn't have enough time to watch more of your stuff. That was the only thing I got to watch of yours. But it's very funny. You're very funny. Very funny young lady.
Let me ask you this: with the social media stuff, do you know how you blew up on social media? Like, is there a strategy that people who want to get more, or was it sheer luck?
I guess it was just sheer luck. That I just was persistent. I started doing stand-up comedy, or started doing social media. I started doing freaky shit men like. And so I started talking about, ladies, if you call your man at work, talk dirty to him, let him pound it out when he gets home and he'll empty out your shopping cart. $20 is $20,
Yeah.
And I started doing that, and then it just started growing. Well, then one day I came home and I sat on my front porch, and I'll never forget it. I sat on my front porch, and I have a neighbor, and her name's not really Donna, but I call her Donna. And she's the neighborhood whore. And everybody talks about her. And so I got home from work, sat on my front porch, and I just was like, I came home from work today. I had me a shower, or I took my bra off, gave my titties a good scratch under there. I went and had a shower, came outside, smoked a cigarette, had me something cold to drink, and I look over and what do I see? But Donna laying in a thong bikini. She thinks she's a Louis Vuitton, but she's a guest. Guess what in the hell is laying out in her backyard? And it hit 4.6 million views.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I started doing thirst trap videos. The ladies really like those.
Oh my goodness.
And those really blow up. I just hit a video of 4.
They do. They do.
Honestly, I don't know what a thirst trap video is, so I'm
Oh,
just going to take
well,
your
that
word
used
for
to
it.
be the only thing that came up on my TikTok. Hell, it's probably half of why I don't even have TikTok anymore. One day, like I say to my wife,
what is a thirst trap video? So
they're just like girls in bikinis doing, like it's a sexy girl doing not much of anything.
But mine
You
are
know
the
what I mean?
dudes with the big schlongs.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Right.
God almighty, who in the hell
Yeah.
told me Christmas
Like,
is coming early and brought
guys
a package
jogging
of
in gray
Wilshire
sweatpants?
Farm smoked sausage? My God. You know,
I must have a thirst trap filter on my phone that doesn't show me that because
just go to my page and hit like. You'll be good.
I'll be honest. I've never spent any time on TikTok looking at other people's stuff. I go there to publish stuff, and then I get right off. I have no use for it. It's not for old people like me.
That explains it because I go to TikTok and they'll tell me that Matt has done something. I will like it. I won't watch it. No point. But I will
I
like
know.
it. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing. I'll like
You're
it.
in most of them anyway, so why bother watching them? Listen, if you're in it, it's probably not funny.
Listen, oh my God.
Can you tell that Southern people, when it comes to some shit happening, we just mind our business?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, my family is from North Carolina.
What part?
Carteret.
I've never heard of it.
It's on the west. It's on the west. It's on the eastern side. As a matter of fact, my great aunt just had when she passed away, they gave her her own holiday because she lived to be like 107 years old. Yeah. So Carteret, North Carolina. So I do have one aunt whose accent is so thick I don't understand the word she's saying, and so whenever she's talking, I have to look at one of the kids that was raised in Maryland to translate.
I'm really holding back a lot.
Are you for real? Don't tell me that.
I'm really holding
Like,
back a lot.
You're telling me it's way thicker than what you're
I'm trying
giving
to
us?
be proper.
No, you don't have to be proper. But give it.
No.
Well, listen, I'm just trying to do anything to get ratings here. So if I could get whether it's a fight
Yeah, you can
started,
say,
any kind of crap.
If you're on a slap wheel with a goat tit, knock yourself out.
Oh, dude, my wife gets mad at me because I'm really into getting slapped in the face with tits, and like she doesn't want to do that kind of thing, but she doesn't. No, I don't know why I like those weird things. There's nothing wrong with a good titty slap. There's nothing wrong with
You
a
were
good,
just talking about like how you
7
couldn't
pounds
stand
of
to be
flesh smack in
motorboated.
your face.
Wait, you were talking about you couldn't stand to be motorboated. Isn't that the same thing as getting slapped in the face with tits?
Yes.
No, I'm saying them motorboating me. That would be weird if they motorboated me. I like motorboating.
How do you motorboat?
I'm saying I don't want my girl to motorboat me, which is what GD suggested earlier.
No,
is
actually,
that
that's not what I said, but that's what you heard, and I wasn't going to stop you.
Oh.
Hey.
That's what I heard. I thought you said.
That's not what I said. But I was not going to stop you. I tried to stop you, but you would not be stopped. So I just said, fine.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm not getting motorboated. Nobody's motorboating me. What the fuck? I will say though that when I was in prison and I gained a bunch of weight, I was like up to like 260. And I remember one day, because I was getting bigger and my man boobs were bigger than usual. And I remember looking down and my hang on, my light. I unplugged my light because I stood up.
Oh my God!
I know. I'm having technical difficulties here.
You having technical difficulties?
So, God damn it!
All right, we'll get back to the story later.
No, we won't. We don't get back to any of my stories.
Well, if you can just finish
I've
one,
told 1,000 half stories on this fucking show.
finish one.
That's because they've already made a movie of your stories. It's called The Never Ending Story.
Right.
The Never Ending Story.
I don't think they're cutting you off. I think you cut yourself off and you just don't realize it.
That's right. Thank you.
Yes,
That's your ADHD at work. God bless you and bless your heart.
If it worked, his ADHD
you know
doesn't
what?
work.
I love how you said that. Just like the old ladies at church that used to pat my head at the same time. Bless your heart.
There would be a reason they said
you're
that.
a
I don't think it
special
was
one,
a
aren't you?
good bless your heart.
So just because Shelley was kind of astonished that you started talking about prison stuff, but what I was confused by is how you gain weight on prison food. I mean, God, it's like
well, because I was raised in a home where like you ate what was served. Period. Like not like there was no complaining. There was no I don't like this. Like you ate what was fucking served. And so when I got to prison is shit ass fucking food that a lot of people don't fucking like. And I didn't have food at the house or in the cell or whatever. So like I would go to evening chow and there'd be fucking 6 fucking dudes that don't want what the fuck is on that tray. So I would just fucking, because this is the only food I got. I don't have soups at the house and shit like that before I started. Because like my first couple years in, I just did regular prison work, which is only like 25 cents an hour. So you make like $28 a month. You know, that only buys you so many fucking soups. So, you know, I didn't spend my money on that kind of shit really. So I just loaded up in the chow hall because there were tons of guys that wouldn't eat that shit. And so when you're eating 4 to 6 servings every fucking night and maybe 2 lunches, you know what I mean? Like you gain weight pretty fucking fast, especially because it's all fucking pastas and breads and not shit that's good for you.
All right,
you know what I mean?
That's the answer.
Yeah. So that's how you gain weight in prison. There you go. There's
Okay.
a 5-minute explanation.
Shelly, here you go. I forgot the question I was about to ask you, so you can go ahead and make up any answer you want.
Yeah.
I forgot the question.
Now, Shelley, these shows in Pennsylvania that you're doing, are you do you pick your? Are you there alone, or do you have an opener, and do you pick your openers, or how does that work?
So I am so blessed that a very dear friend of mine, Brandon Rainwater, he is going to, he called me, he normally travels with a very well-known comedian, Ginger Billy. He normally travels with him. What was that?
That was Will.
Sorry, that was a dog.
That was Will barking.
And so he's, so the guy that he usually opens for is taking a break for right now. And getting ready for their next tour. So he asked, could he come with me? And he has been a huge mentor of mine. And so it's amazing to be able to do some work with the person that has mentored me. And I kind of feel funny about it because, you know, that you have your mentor that's going to be opening for you.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So now the 17th you're just doing one show, but on the 18th you're there for 2 shows at this 8:30 and 10 p.m. Right? We have
absolutely. And you know what's really weird is that I have noticed after the pandemic, and I don't know if any of you have noticed this, but after the pandemic, you know, doing 2 shows before the pandemic was not a big deal. Right. It was just a normal thing. Now, when you do 2 shows, it's like the first show will sell out and then you hardly have anybody at the second show. Like nobody wants to go out to the second shows anymore.
Right.
I don't understand. Have y'all experienced that?
I actually saw the opposite last time I was out to a thing where it was 2 shows in one night. The first show was kind of poorly attended, and then the second show was sold out. And that, but I hear what you're saying, but late crowds seem to be a thing of the past. Like people don't want to stay out late anymore.
Right.
That show ran to 1:30 in the morning. Which you don't see comedy shows going to 1:30.
Now, if it's a comedian I like, I would prefer the second show because some comedians are actually they have their second show is better than their first show. There's actually a quality difference. And so if I know that, I will go to the one I think is the better show. But
Right.
usually
Yeah,
I'll go to
you're
the second
warmed up.
show.
You're ready to go.
Right.
Man. You
I
done had
prefer
your
the
warm-up
second show.
Yeah.
When your Jim Thorpe show, when is that?
Jim Thorpe, hold on one second.
17th.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
where is it? Jim Thorpe. Am I losing my mind here? I'm not seeing it now. Oh, yeah, November 17th and the 18th.
Okay, I'm not going to make any promises. I'll talk to my wife about it. It's only a 3-hour drive. I may come up and try to catch your show.
I love that. I
That would be
love
good.
it.
Now, do they allow black people in?
Actually, I just checked it. There are 3 black people in Jim Thorpe, PA. 2 of them are actually doing time, so they're not really residents.
All right, so they won't be at the show.
Yeah, they won't be at the show, but.
And that's another subject I want to talk about that I'm so proud of, and I want to toot my own horn. A lot of times with comics, if there's black comics, white comics, Asian comics, whatever, and usually the person that's performing, that's going to be the majority of your audience, right? I am so thankful because my comedy I don't talk about politics, race, religion. I talk about everyday life, which brings more people to your show. And I have ages from 22 to 80 years old, and I have all ethnic backgrounds, and I'm so proud of that.
Well, that's cool.
Because you don't see that at every show. And I'm so proud that I can relate to everybody, not just a certain group of people.
That's a good point. Now, what we were just talking about, the late shows, I think, are mostly younger people. I think older people, anybody over 50, doesn't want to be late. I mean, we've been conditioned now. So I think younger people are more likely to, take in a later show. But that's when I was there a couple of weeks ago, there were a lot of 20-somethings at the late show, which surprised me. I didn't think that was a comedy club were still a thing for young people on date night. You know what I mean?
Well, see, my generation learned to get the hell up out of bed and go be productive, and then be home by 10 o'clock and go to bed. The newer generation gets up about noon, and they're working from home, and they're like, and then they decide to do something at 10 o'clock at night when we're trying to go to bed. They're just getting out.
Absolutely. Speaking of comedy clubs, it's time to say goodbye to Gov's Comedy Club. We're on Gov's Comedy Club Network. Ben Bailey is there this weekend. Go see Ben Bailey from Cash Cab. Anyway, bye, Govs. We'll see you tomorrow.